Boom! Drum roll! It's Opex! This is the greatest channel on the planet! What? It's Opex, guys. The mind of Opex. Back at it again. Whatever I can put on YouTube, I'm gonna put on YouTube. If they strike me and warn me and delete my channel and shit, I have all the backup I need on Library in Odyssey and shit like that. So I put all my videos on a new channel on Odyssey and Library, which is called The Mind of Opex. I didn't realize that I accidentally made a channel called The Philosophical Boss. I'm not saying to unsubscribe to that channel, but I'm going to delete it. So subscribe to my new channel. It will be in the link below. It is Thursday, and I want to talk about a couple things before I start driving, because I have about a 20-minute or so drive. And I think this video might be longer than that, and I don't want it to be. So let's get a few things out of the way before I start driving. Cue the intro! Opex, where's the intro? This is not entertaining, Opex. Get your shit together. This is not an entertainment channel. This is a philosophy channel. This is to help men and women excel in life. And I'm gonna give you the reasoning why with some evidence. That's what this channel is. It's not designed to entertain you. I don't want to entertain you, because that means you're only watching for those little spurts of entertainment. And I don't want to do that. I want to give you information in which will revolutionize your life. Let's start here. In this video, I want to talk about people who have problems. So, I've talked about this before, many times before, where two people at a gas station, they're both working behind the counter. One's happy, one's not. I've talked about this many times. Let's start here. You walk in to that gas station, first dude's happy, talking to another customer, excited about life. The person right next to him's miserable, treating you like shit, quick to react, right? Now, I've talked about this before in terms of how when people who are happy are choosing to be happy. See, you are not a product of your circumstances, a product of your environment. You're not a product of your religion, your education, your country. You're not a product of that. So you should not be what society wants you to be, or kind of molds you into the path of becoming, which is usually an obedient slave. What I want to instill into you is responsibility. So this first person is happy, but this person is working the exact same job in the exact same location, making the exact same wage, working the exact same hours, the exact same everything as this person right next to that person who is miserable, who decided to bring home or to work what was home. Right? They had an argument with their spouse, or their kid is doing drugs or disobedient. Whatever the case is, they have decided to be miserable. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because you should judge that person as choosing to be unhappy. Because the person right next to him is happy. So there's no excuse. Doesn't matter what's on the back burner. Doesn't matter what happened yesteryear. It doesn't fucking matter what happened. Whether it's the past, whether it's stress about the future. You're here now, working this job now, right next to a person now who is happy. Yet you have decided to not put that smile on, to not revolutionize your mind without revolutionizing your path to victory, which is be the light of the world. Shine and radiate. When someone smiles, it's contagious. You smile. When someone yawns, it's contagious. So just understand that what you are is shining onto others, even if it's darkness. But darkness can't shine when you're choosing to be happy. So that happy person despite having miserable piece of shit next to him. Now, I'm going to reiterate and get farther into this, so don't just take what I'm saying now. This is just a precursor to what I'm going to be talking about. What that person decided was, this person's a piece of shit. I'm not going to let that person change me. I am still going to be happy. Voltaire. My favorite quote from Voltaire. I choose to be happy because it is good for my health. This is revolutionary. This is my favorite, one of my favorite quotes of all time. Because it tells you you have the responsibility to be happy. And you're going to be rewarded with good health. When I'm smiling here, I'm getting very good responses with my body. From my immune system to my organ health, etc. My blood flows better. When you're smiling, you're activating good hormones. You're activating like you have value, like you have purpose in this world. And when you're miserable, you don't have that. In fact, misery loves company. In fact, it cannot operate without it. Because if you're miserable by yourself, it's because you have chosen to put that misery on others and they have negated that misery and said, I am not going to surrender to this piece of shit's misery. It's called responsibility. Now, with that out of the way, you understand where I'm getting this. To judge this. But this is what you need to understand, and this is what's going to make you more powerful than that. This is the next step. You ready for it? I'm an empath. I'm empathic. Empathic is not the same as, look at it like this. An empath understands because they feel what you feel. They understand you because they understand where you're coming from. They are actually attempting, or at least to some extent, being in your shoes. See, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. And that's sympathy, and I've talked about this in many videos before. Watch my video between empathy and sympathy, where I describe the difference between empathy and to strive to be empathetic instead of sympathetic. Sympathy doesn't say that you understand, because you don't. It's pretending. Sympathy is pretend. See, because you don't feel anything other than, oh, I feel bad for you, right? But you don't feel what they are feeling. So if somebody comes up to you and you're sympathetic to their dog dying, their dog died, you're like, and then you want to incorporate something where you can understand them, but you have nothing because you're not empathetic. So you use sympathy. Sympathy would be like, your dog died, I feel bad for you because once upon a time, my dog died, or my grandma died, or I had an experience where I experienced something. Now I got to shed my experience on you, as in it's the same circumstance. But it's not, because we're all dealing with different things at different times, at different wavelengths of life, of energy. So what we're dealing with is a failure to be empathetic. So the sympathy comes out, where it's sympathy is pretend. It's like, I'm pretending to feel what you're feeling because I can't. I can't feel what you're feeling. In fact, I'm not listening to you to understand you either. I'm listening to you to reply. So the average sympathetic person in this situation would think to themselves, this person is sad. So therefore, I'm in this situation now where I'm dealing with someone who's explaining this through their knowledge and information, through communication, to you. And because you don't grasp it enough and you're listening to reply, you are not going to grasp what's going on. Yes, you understand, you have that information, dude's dog died or chick's dog died. But you don't feel what they're feeling. If they're crying or any of that, you don't feel that because there was no intention of understanding that individual. Look, this is deep here. Everyone is dealing with some shit that you are unaware of. And you're not going to be able to understand. People are going to snap at you. They might be on their last. You don't know what's going on in their life, right? But the truth is, you need to understand that person and not be sympathetic. Because with empathy, we can understand this individual and we can be in the same wavelength, and we can greatly communicate better. We have a better bond because of it. Because if I was just sympathetic, I said, yeah, my grandma died once. I know exactly what you feel. You're lying. This is not a proper relationship. You are lying to that individual by claiming some type of understanding when you are so distant. Look, you don't know. You might have only seen your grandma a couple times in your life, and she might have died when you were 6. Is that going to have the same effect as this person who raised a dog their whole life, taught him how to walk and talk and to have etiquette, and to, you trained him, and it was your family dog? You don't know what's going on unless A, you were there the whole time, or B, you're empathetic. And empathy means that you're striving to understand. Even if you don't feel what they're feeling, you're striving to feel that because you are empathetic. Empathy essentially means striving to understand. Essentially. And you can feel what they're feeling. Not just feel like, okay, they're crying now, I feel bad. Because that's what you're feeling. Empathy creates the feeling of what they are feeling. And that is not the same thing. In fact, this is the only proper way to determine the information, through empathy. Okay, so we don't understand what's going on in this person's day-to-day life. We'll go back to the gas station scenario. Happiness, sad. Sad, depressed, annoyed, quick to be frustrated, has a reason to be such. But that person is either one of a few things. Either they don't understand that they have the power to be happy, so they don't understand that they can choose to be happy. Or there are two, they are ignorant, meaning they are ignoring information to continue misery, which is something that is addictive during misery. Happiness is addictive too. Yawning's addictive. Well, in terms of contagious, not addictive. Sorry, that's what I meant. It's contagious. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you are choosing to be happy, you are spreading those seeds of happiness around you. And when you are miserable, doesn't matter why. Either of these scenarios, doesn't matter why you are happy, doesn't matter why you are sad, because it is so easy to flip that switch. Look, if you're bringing misery to other places, that is because you have not fixed what has made you miserable. And this misery is actually overriding your ability to be responsible for this. Because misery is entailing that this is a proper feeling. No problem. Your experience is your experience. It is a proper experience. But the reasoning why you are miserable, or in fact, affecting, the main point, affecting others around you, is a piece of shit thing to do. And you are responsible for that. You're also responsible on how you deal with these people with misery. In my understanding, so as an empath myself, I am an empath. I feel exactly what you're feeling. I can feel it without any type of consciousness. I can feel it. So I don't have to look into your soul to feel what you're feeling. I can feel it right next to me at all times without having to switch anything on or off. I'm an empath. I'm not empathic. I'm an empath. And because I am feeling what you're feeling and understanding what you're understanding, I am going to be able to understand you better and help you better, and to communicate better with you, and to be able to sow seeds better with you. But if you are miserable and you're not responsible, those seeds never get past being sown. They never sprout because you have never watered it. Who does water those seeds are the responsible. Again, you don't know what's going on in these people's lives. You don't know. So, during your level of judgment, okay, whatever that may be, whether, I mean, I have a video on judgment. Watch my video on judgment if you believe that you shouldn't be judging others. To some extent, you should. Because if you don't judge them, then you are coming up with information or ignoring information, one of the two, that combats real information. Because the real information's right here. But anyways, you don't know what's going on with them. So if something bad happened to that individual and that person snapped at you, instead of aligning to that misery, be empathic. See, a sympathetic person would argue with that frustrated person. That sympathetic person would be like, there's no reason to yell at me for that. I didn't do nothing to you. Where are you going with that? Do you see the state that this person's in? They don't give a fuck about you if they're putting it on you now. So why even attempt to plant seeds into, how do I put this? Into a grinder. A big industrial grinder that just grinds and puts everything in the dust. That's where you're flicking your seeds into. Because this individual is not trying to listen to you, first off. Two, this person's angry and they have no self-control. Because this person has no self-control, when you plant those seeds in that individual, especially in the moment when they are obviously not able to control themselves, it's one ear and out the other. You're wasting your time. And what you deliver or what you try to sow during heated exchanges or arguments or this person's flustered or angry or snaps at you, whatever the situation, when that person's flustered, your seed is not going to be sown. It is literally, you're going to destroy it, making sure that seed is not sown. Not going to be watered because there is no more seed anymore. Once this person is in that state and you're trying to help that person, however you seem fit or you're sympathetic, you cannot help that person because that person chose to be miserable. So understand, empathy is the only option in this scenario where you can understand where they're coming from. Meaning, you are getting accurate information despite what is communicated, despite what they say, despite what words they use, despite their tone of voice. Once you have the accurate information through empathy, you can evaluate and say, this person is just going to grind up whatever seed I sow to them. So what do? This becomes the main question. See, because if you understand the situation, you can combat the evils of that situation. But you cannot combat evil if that person is not trying to be good. If that person does not strive in the moment to be good, you cannot be the enlightenment for that person. Because that grinder is just going to grind up that seed and every additional seed in that category. So if you're trying to preach to him about morality or whatever, it's not going to work because that person has, I don't want to say lusted, some sort of bloodlust. I want to say this right. Because this person is flustered and frustrated, this person cannot change like that. That person has given up his responsibility probably at a very young age. So teach your children to be responsible, to explain that, yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Explain them that. But explain to them how to be responsible for not only the language, not only the communication, but that person's... Get your child away from aligning to others, where someone's just smiling and they're contagious, or they're angry and they're contagious. To align them with the divine. Align them with morality and responsibility. Because in this realm can produce a level of empathy that was unacquired before or unattainable before. And then we can do whatever we want with our responsibility, right? We can manipulate the world to that light. And I believe that philosophy will change the world. So reason and evidence through the lens of logic can and will change the world. It changes the mind and it changes the lifestyle of that individual. And if that is changed per individual, imagine that at a global level. I mean, obviously start at your level, then community, then global. I mean, just it spreads like wildfire. See, a mind stretched to a new dimension from new experiences or information cannot revert to its previous dimensions. That brain has now been stretched to a point you cannot revert back to. So this is like, once you understand 2 + 2 = 4, you got 2 lemons here and 2 apples here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you understand that, you can't be confused on how many apples there are anymore in lemons. You can't be confused anymore. 2 lemons and 2 apples = 4 fruit. You can't undo that in your mind. Because now you know that to be true. Anyways, let's start going. We'll probably shut this down soon. And this is actually a short video today, which is good. I have tons more content coming in terms of the real shit, the end of days, the Antichrist, Bill Gates. And there's a lot of content coming. So definitely stay tuned, subscribe to this channel. Go to my library account if you're not there yet, Odyssey, the Mind of Opex, because there's going to be a day YouTube's going to shut me down. They don't want me telling you this. This is the secrets to life. This is the secrets to be successful. This is the secrets. I give you guys some really crucial information on my channel. And with the 400 videos or whatever that I just put onto Odyssey, there's no excuse anymore for you guys to not find this information. Library's not pushing me out of the algorithm like YouTube. Anyways, let's dive back into what I was saying. Your happiness stems not from environmental factors. In fact, those environmental factors that change how you feel is because you have chosen to alleviate your responsibility at some point in your life. Or you were never taught to be responsible, so you're left with what? You're left with no responsibility. So things just happen for no reason, and there's no such thing as cause and effect, and all of physics just crumble to nothing, and nothing makes sense. But when things do make sense is when you have the accurate information. And how do you get accurate information? Being able to siphon out bad information, meaning like things like, this person's angry, so I'm going to lie to that. Well, once you got that information, when you align to some evil fucking feelings, or someone yelling, or whatever, and their veins are popping out of their forehead and they're angry. And 99% of the time, they're not angry for something that they should be angry for. It's because they have lack of control. And they have lack of empathy towards you to even attempt to yell at you. Look, there's no reason to yell at anyone. If your information is bad, no one's going to align to you. Remember how climate change, they kept trying for the climate change thing, right? Like for years with Al Gore and all these different spokespeople, and they tried so hard to get you to listen to their science. But guess what? Whenever anyone looked at their information and said, this science is horseshit. There's no way a cow farting has as much impact on the earth as the sun does. Yes, can carbon be in the water or on the ocean floors or in rocks and stuff like that? Yeah, of course, duh. But to block out the sun? You think blocking out the sun is going to save us? Or is it going to hurt us? Look, when they are putting out their argument, it didn't work for climate change because intelligent people looked at that data and said, this is horseshit. A, the data doesn't line up. B, there are external sources that are way more predominant in the cause of climate change than cows farting, which cows have farted on our planet for thousands and millions of years, and all of a sudden now it's a big deal because now there's more people and people want more cows and just horseshit. And then he's gonna buy up all the fucking, for example, when you can distinguish and judge properly, they can't screw you over anymore. This means that I am a moral person because I'm following moral guidance. I believe in science, meaning that I can always question science. And I am that person who is not going to be upset because I'm dealing with someone who's upset. When I deal with someone who's upset, I smile because I know that evil where it's coming from. I understand where that evil's coming from. No, do I not get why they're upset in terms of like the environmental factors or their grandpa died. Those things happen to everyone. Everyone cries, but you still gotta treat people respectively. Because if you're not respecting other people, how do you expect them to respect you? And that's how it works in life when you're dealing with these low IQ people that assume, or rather, by default, they are miserable because you're miserable. Or when you are happy, they're happy. These are the same type of people. Look over and over at this. The same type of people that are choosing to be miserable in front of you are the same type of people, the same low IQ, don't give a fuck about you type of people that when you're doing good, they're around. I just got my stimulus check and I got extra money and I'm doing good and we're going out to the bar and we're going to have a great time. They like you when you are up and good. But when you don't have the money, oh man, I don't have the money this week to go out to the bar, or whatever you do with this person. Oh, I don't have the money. So you're at a lower standpoint, or maybe let's say you lost your house. Now we can't party at your house anymore. Are those same people calling you anymore? When you are down, they don't want to be around you. Same person. No one wants to be around a drunk if you're sober, right? No one wants to be around a drunk when you're sober. No No one goes, I can't wait to go to the bar and deal with all these drunks as I drink water. No one. No sober person wants to deal with a drunk. No one. Same goes with misery. Same goes when you aren't doing as good as other times. If you have money and you have value to give to other people, everyone wants to be around you. Not just the good people, the bad people. The energy vampires. They want to be around you when you're doing good. Everyone wants to be around you when you're doing good. Now, who wants to be around you when you're homeless? Who? Who wants to be around you when you're in a bad mood? Who? No one. Not even the good people. So understand that the difference is not based on good and evil, who you should hang out with. It should be based on the priority of what that person's willing to do empathetically. If they are not listening to understand, like if you're talking and they can't wait to chime in, they don't give a fuck about it. See that, judge that, understand that. There is no one out there attempting to better their life by treating you more miserable. It doesn't exist. So understand where people are coming from. Understand that they might be dealing with something that's way out of your understanding. Understand that they are allowed, they have the freedom to treat anyone how they want to be treated. But you got to also understand, be the light that's shining in the world. Because just a little bit of light, just a tiny candelabra, a tiny light, a tiny candle light, all right? Just a tiny something, just a lighter, will inevitably make the darkness flee. Go into your closet right now, shut out all the doors, make sure that it's pitch black. Now put a tiny light in there. Be that tiny light. It makes the darkness flee. See, when you are the light, let me just explain it like this. Because I made a Christian video recently, or a few days ago or whatever, a week ago. I don't know, some days ago. So, if you want to be the light around you, you must be, to some level, empathetic and understanding. If you don't understand that other person, not necessarily the specific information of why they're miserable or whatever, but if you're going to treat them miserably as well, you are no better than that person. It's like that eye for an eye thing. It's going to make the whole world blind. So why would you even attempt to waste your energy blinding the world when you can not have energy, as much energy, to just be responsible and be that light? Look, misery cannot exist. Okay, let me go back to the Christian thing before I go on to that point. If you say to you, and it says it multiple times in the Bible, just saying Jesus' name in the face of evil makes that darkness flee. There's a reason for that. And it's divine. And I'm getting the Holy Spirit in me right now. Every time I talk about these things, I know it's Jesus or Yeshua or Yahweh or the Holy Spirit guiding me towards this for you guys. I might turn into more of a Christian channel because of how much Holy Spirit has been in me the last few months. It's just been radiating in me. But anyways, so you say Jesus, just his name in darkness, and then there's no more evil in that room. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how weak evil is. These people who are miserable don't have the strength, or they're ignorant. That's why they are miserable. They don't have the strength to be responsible, or they're ignoring their responsibility because of ease, laziness, whatever, not caring for others. And because that person has that quality, that person is left at that state, never to grow. It's like when you graduate high school. You're 18 years old. I know everything now, and because I hated school and I was forced to this indoctrination of learning all this shit that I don't want to learn and I had to in order to graduate. And then you turn 18 and you graduate, and then you stop learning. What did Albert Einstein once say? Once you stop learning, you start dying. Once you believe to yourself you've learned enough, and a lot of teenagers believe this, that they understand enough, not only to be, I don't want to say successful, not only to be just alive, but to thrive. People need to understand that everything in life takes energy. Everything in life takes control. And if you are going to have failure to do so, you're going to be stuck. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. If you're not using your brain, how do you think you're doing? If you're not using your heart, you're probably going to have a heart attack. If you're not using your brain, you might be more prone to seizures and stroke and etc., right? See, these things that are going on have a cause and effect. And now if you are as healthy as you can be, Voltaire quote, I'll say it again, I strive to be happy. Strive. I make it a thing to be happy. I go out of my way. I put energy into being happy. Because it is good for my health. Now that you realize that your health is intertwined, everything's connected. Your health from your organs are all connected. If your heart fails, your liver fails. Your lungs fail. Your brain fails. It all is together, working together. You cannot argue, I have a strong heart, but a shitty lungs. They're all interconnected. It is impossible. Now, it's one thing if you are, if you might have hurt your arm or something. Like, for example, I have my right arm. I couldn't do my full deltoid workout today because my one workout, I still can't even lift my arm. I can't lift my arm, and I know why. You guys ready for this? Sugar and refined carbs fucked up my arm. And it fucks up my arm every time I eat some ice cream or eat pancakes, shit like that. It fucks up my arm, my shoulder, my joint. And we'll get into a full video on that at some point. We won't do it today. But my arm hurts, so I have to take care of myself. I saw what happened because I am responsible, and I am intending and choosing to put it to stop, put it to rest. So I stopped eating sugar. In 3 to 7 days, not even 7 days, the pain's going to be all gone. In 2 weeks, I'd say, for me personally, because I study myself and my body, in 2 weeks, I'm going to have full range of motion again with my shoulder. Now imagine if I just went to the doctor, I alleviated all my responsibility. He's going to put me on a pill, and I'm going to, for the rest of my life, have shoulder pain and shoulder troubles and inflammation. Because, and the doctor could even tell you to stay away from sugar, but you're probably not because he puts you on a pill. See, you are responsible in life. You're responsible how you're treating others. You're responsible for your happiness. You're responsible for your health. No one else. No one else. Once you hit the age of 18, in fact, in my opinion, once you hit the age of 12, in my opinion, once you hit the age of 12, there's no more excuse why you can't be responsible for yourself. There's no more excuse. It doesn't exist anymore. It's only fabricated. It's only a lie. It's only falsehood. It's only by delusion. But if you take care of yourself in all aspects of life, physically, mentally, spiritually, if you're taking care of yourselves in these three categories, you will be the light in the world. But if you are saying, well, I'm going to take care of myself mentally today, physically tomorrow, spiritually in a year, or whatever, if you say to yourself, I'm just making baby steps, you are doing something, and you are aligning to that in which you desire, and you are responsible for how you proceed, or how you go about it. See, a lot of people believe that one day I'll make that change. I'm just going to smoke cigarettes and cigarettes and cigarettes. But when my lung collapses, I'll stop. I'm going to give you a story. My brother.
KA alert.
My brother has a weird frame. He's 6'4". He's really skinny. And his lungs are not shaped correctly, according to the doctor. And my brother smoked for many years. You can, cracked everything, right? DMT to everything. We smoked everything together. Crack, everything. Cigarettes, weed, everything. Everything. Now, when you're smoking these things and you're putting them in your lungs, what do you think that's doing to your lungs? My brother had a collapsed lung. He had surgery. It was a partially collapsed lung. He claimed he would never smoke again because he went through that experience. But that was just a feeling. Because if he was intelligent, he would have went through with it. But after a couple weeks, he started smoking again. Cigarettes. And then he went to prison because he went to prison. I'm not going to go dive down that road. But he went to prison. He became a huge smoker, smoked everything in prison, whatever he can get his hands on, and became a religious smoker again after his lungs collapsed. And he assured us he wouldn't smoke again. So we thought to ourselves, he's responsible. He used to be a God-fearing Christian. He's responsible. He kind of understands that this life is short. Now, because he's of the world, and he's not choosing to separate himself from this world, he is unable to obtain knowledge and the ability and strength to pursue betterment. He gave up. He convinced himself through whatever evil that he has to alleviate his responsibility and not care about his lung collapsing or his possibility and probability of death. See, the doctor told him, if you start smoking again, you're probably going to die. He understood that, and he was like, oh, I don't want to die. I want to live on this planet. But because he got smoking again, and he smoked 1 cigarette, 2 cigarettes, 3 days of cigarettes, 10 packs of cigarettes, 10 years of cigarettes, and keep smoking and smoking and smoking, you cannot get to the point in your mind that you're going to stop, because it becomes not just habitual, but you have accepted it as part of your life. But responsibility would say, let's go to a Bruce Lee quote. So you're going to have tons of information in your life. Tons of information. Add to your daily basis what is useful about that information. Add what is useful. Discard what is not useful. What is bettering you, continue. And why? Because it's better for your health. Your happiness is good for your health. And because it's good for your health, and it has many qualities that are good for you, you're going to want it. You're going to want to be happy. You have reason to be happy. But when you ignore those reasons, or you have discredited those reasons, or said it's a lot of work, and it's too much work, you're alleviating your powers. You're alleviating your abilities to succeed or to do those things or push those limits or those boundaries that you have put into your mind. Look, when you work out, let's put it into example. I'm working out. This is physical. If one day I can only do 15 curls for 25 pounds, right? And I'm doing them properly, slow, controlled, eccentric, etc. If I can only do 15 one day, do I tell myself I have to cut myself off at 15 the next? A lot of people do. That is the problem. See, a lot of people don't understand. It is not quantity. It never was about quantity. It's all about quality. Look, I can have 15 reps with 25 pounds that will do more for my bicep than if I did higher weights. Let's say 35 pounds, right? Maybe I'm not slow and controlled on the lifting to the eccentric, but only I know in that moment how much I can push myself, and I still push myself. That's the difference. Do I tell myself mentally, I know enough now? Sure. Do I know more than most people? Am I more intelligent or more moral than most people? I was more intelligent than my teachers in third grade. In third grade, I was more intelligent. And in fact, in second grade, or was it? Yeah, in second grade, I got a letter from New York State saying I was the second most intelligent person in the state. In my age range. The second most intelligent person in the state was me. Me, guys. I could have stopped there and said, I know enough. I'm already way more intelligent than everyone else. But I told myself there's more to learn. And I have been exploding with knowledge ever since. Once you stop learning, you start dying. Now, once you say to yourself, 15's my limit for this. Once you say that this is my limit, that I don't need to do more, you're not going to do more. You're going to plateau. You're going to get weaker. If you don't exercise it, whether it's physically, mentally, and spiritually, if you're not exercising it, it is not going to get better. If you're not intentionally striving to be better. For example, going back to physically, if I'm doing those 25-pound strict curls, it doesn't seem like much. But if I can get 16 in, I will. Now, if I can stop for a second, let my heart become more balanced, my heart rhythm more balanced instead of going crazy because I actually have heart problems. If I'm more balanced with my heartbeat and stuff, and I wait a second, and I just have the curls to the side, after rep 16 or whatever, I'm going to go for 17. Then I'm going to go for 18. And I'm not going to restrict how I put up those dumbbells. I'm not going to add some I'm not going to add momentum. I'm not going to move weird so I incorporate other muscles. I'm going to use that same muscle and I'm going to tear it to bits. And the next day, I'm going to do the same thing again. I have a whole video on that's coming. Working out videos and stuff. If you guys want to see working out videos, I am 100% going to be doing that soon. I'm going to show you guys a few routines I do. I'm going to show you guys my full routine. I'm going to show you guys my partial routine. I'm going to show you guys tons of different things in the upcoming months. Again, if YouTube takes down any of my content, find me at Library or Odyssey. And if the government wants to shut down them, there's going to be a way to find me. There's no censoring me. You can try to censor me all day long, but again, am I just going to put up with it? Or just like oh, I made it to 15. I don't care if I have another one left in me. I made it to my quota. I made it to 15. Right? And there's days where, like 2 sets might not be enough for my biceps. So I might incorporate another set or 2. Right? So there's things that you can do to make sure that you are successful. And it only takes responsibility and empathy. Empathy towards other, responsibility without a doubt. And empathy is also incorporated to self. Because you need to understand others as well as yourself. Look, you can see someone who's diabetic, right? And you not being diabetic, and you can observe what's going on there. This person's eating cake every day, creating more problems for themselves, right? You can see it with your own eyes, observe other people, and say to yourself, I don't want to be in that position, so I'm going to be responsible. But that takes empathy. You need to understand what they are doing, what's causing what. Everything in life has a cause and effect. It's only by delusion that you cancel out the cause and you're left with the effect. I have diabetes. Well, it happens. No, it doesn't just happen. Nothing falls out of the sky, not even rain. Rain doesn't come from the sky. It came from down here, which came up there, and then down here, and there's a never-ending cycle. But you got to understand that cycle. But once you see rain coming from the sky, and you tell yourself it only can come from the sky, you are left without the cause, and you're only left with the effect. It's retarded to do such. You need to understand that there's a bigger spectrum in life, and everyone's dealing with some shit that you don't understand. So not only do we tolerate these people, we need to still be the light to these people. Because only through sowing seeds can a seed develop. Look, if you're not putting seed in soil or in a rock cube or whatever, if you're not putting your seed, if you're not sowing your seed, what's your seed gonna root inside? It can't. It can't root unless there's a medium, right? There's soil, there's something there, peat moss, there's something there that it can wiggle through, it can absorb nutrients and water. But how is that going to work if this person's miserable and you're just going to align to them? Don't align to them. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Be the light. Be the beauty. Even if you're the only one you know. Even if you're the only one. It's by intention that you can succeed. If you don't have the intention, you cannot have motivation. And if you don't have the motivation, it can never be. That's enough for this video. This got way longer than I wanted it to be. I could have just ended it at the last house. But stay tuned for more content. It's Opex. I'm going to be here for quite a long time, and there's no shutting me up. I mean, Bill Gates can try to suicide me all he wants because I am his enemy, but I'm not your enemy. I'm not your savior. I am a piece of the saving. I am the messenger. And if you guys can help yourselves, you can start helping your friends and family, your immediate friends and family, into your community, into others. It starts with you. And if you don't make that beginning change or start and unlearn the lies and seek virtue and seek morality, what are you seeking? You're probably seeking entertainment. You're probably seeking ungodly desires, which are much more worldly desires. Anyways, I can keep going for hours. You guys know I can keep talking forever. We got to stop this shit. The sun's out. I got to talk to a birthday woman over there. It's my grandmother's birthday. 90. She turned 91. 90-year-old woman. 91-year-old woman. So I got a card. I'm here to say hi to her and visit my old grandma. So hopefully this goes well. Stay tuned for more content. Plenty more coming. And I have some really cool, not only topics, but the video production is going to be way better. I know I've been saying this for a long time, but I might start doing skits again. If I can have access to intelligent minds that are willing to help me, I'm willing to do skits again. And my skits are pretty good. Check out previous content of my skits. I like my skits. I might even look at one today just to kind of boost up my esteem about this. But there's plenty of different content coming. And I gotta shut the fuck up. Do it, guys. Opex, shut the fuck up. You talk too much. Make your video shorter, damn it. Anyways, it's Opex. Mind of Opex. Best philosophy channel on the planet. Bye, guys.